Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and good Shabbos. Welcome to you all. We are here in Huntington, West Virginia. It was a beautiful day today. Lots of sun. We had some clouds, low humidity, and a nice breeze. So it was a beautiful day, and any day that it doesn't rain is a beautiful day. And so here we are again. I can't believe it's Friday, and we're here for our Shabbat services. So welcome. We're going to start this evening on page 2 with the blessing over the Shabbos candles, the Nerot, the candles, and we'll have Sam come forward and recite the bracha, the blessing, and you can find that on page 2.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kadashanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahalik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. All right, we're going to continue on page 6. Page 6, we'll read responsively. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship.
May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture.
May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity.
May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet.
May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness.
May this synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life.
All right, let's jump ahead to page 20, Lecha Dodi. And tonight we'll do verses 1 and 2 and verse 9. But coming up, we're going to sneak in verse 8 one of these days. So, but not tonight. Today we'll do 1, 2, and 9. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nikabela. Shamur v'zachor b'dibor echad, Ishmi'anu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad, L'shem u'tiferet v'litila, Lecha Dodi kala, Pnei Shabbat nikabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha, Ki mekor ha'bracha, Merosh mikedem nesucha, Sof ma'aseh b'machshava techila, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nikabela. Bohi v'shalom ateret bala, Gam b'simcha uvtzohala, Tochem unei am segula, Bohi chala, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nikabela. Let's turn to page 22, and let's read together in English the first paragraph of Psalm 92, a song for Shabbat. It is good to praise Adonai, to sing hymns to your name, O Most High, to proclaim your steadfast love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night, with a 10-stringed harp, with voice and lyre together. You have gladdened me by your deeds, Adonai. I shout for your joy at your handiwork. How great are your works, Adonai, how very subtle your designs. A brute cannot know, a fool cannot understand this. And in the Hebrew, Tzadika tamar yifrach, ke'erez balvanon yiskeshetulin beveit Adonai bechatzrot Eloheinu Yafrichu od yenuvun v'seva dishenim v'rananim yiyu lehagid ki yashar Adonai Suri velo avlatabo. Let's turn the page to 24, and we'll welcome the angels to come to spend Shabbat with us. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharei, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech malachei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Boachem l'shalom malachei hashalom malachei elyon. Mi melech Malachei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Baruchuni l'shalom malachei hashalom malachei elyon. Mi melech malachei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Seitchem l'shalom malachei hashalom malachei elyon. Mi melech malachei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. All right, that's Kabbalat Shabbat. We've welcomed Shabbat. We've stepped away from the work week, taken a couple of breaths, and now we're ready to begin our Vit l'Shabbat, the evening service for Shabbat, page 145, Chatzi Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalmad yivrach chirutei v'yamlik malchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dichol beit Yisrael, b'hagala uv'izman kariv v'yemeru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam lo me'almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei dekudusha brichu leila min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran v'yamha v'yemeru amen. Page 146, we continue with Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam vayed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Netzach leolam vaed. Let's continue together in English near the bottom of page 147. Adonai, your majesty is proclaimed by the marvels of earth and sky. Sun, moon, and stars testify to your power and wisdom. Day follows day in endless succession, and the years vanish, but your sovereignty endures. Though all things pass, let not your glory depart from us. Help us to become co-workers with you, and endow our fleeting days with abiding worth. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv Aravim. Page 148, Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat
Olam, Beit Yisrael Aleichem, Amecha Ahavta, Amcha Ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta, Otanu limadeta. Alkein Adonai Eloheinu b'shofenu, uvkumeinu nasiach bechukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki heim chayeinu, ve'orech yameinu, u'vahem negei yomam v'layla, negei yomam v'layla, ve'ahavata tasir. Mi'enu le'olamim, Baruch Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Page 149, Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, B'chol levavcha, u'b'chol nafshecha, u'b'chol me'odecha, v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele, asher anochi mitzavecha, hayom al levavecha, v'shinantam b'lenecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'veitecha, u'vlektecha v'derech, Uv'shofbecha, uv'kumecha, u'kshartam liot al yadecha, v'hayu latotafot beineinecha, u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uv'hisharecha leman tizkaru, v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'hitem kedoshim le'elohechem, Ani Adonai Elohechem, Asher Hotzeiti Etchem Me'eretz Mitzrayim, Liot Lachem Le'Elohim, Ani Adonai Elohechem. On page 151, let's read in the middle responsively. We worship the power that unites the universe, a promise of harmony for all.
Yet that oneness eludes our grasp as imperfection and evil abound.
Before our eyes, there is a vision of perfection, order, and goodness.
There is evil enough to break the heart, and there is good enough to exalt the soul.
When will redemption come?
We grant everyone what we claim for ourselves.
Long ago, we escaped the tyranny of Egypt. Our people saw the power of the Most High.
We learn God's presence redeems time and event, so we celebrate this power that makes for freedom.
Top of page 152, Mi Chamocha.
Mi kamocha v'elim Adonai.
Mi Kamocha Nedar Bakodesh. Nora Tehilot. O Sefer, O Sefer. Mi kamocha v'elim Adonai. Mi kamocha nedar bakodesh. Nora tehilot. O Sefer, O Sefer. Malchutecha ra'u banecha bokeim lifnei Moshe ze'eli anu v'yamru Adonai yimloch li'olam va'ed v'ne'emar ki fada Adonai et Yaakov ugalo mi'achazak mimenu baruch atah Adonai ga'al Yisrael. Page 153 at the top, Hashkivenu. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. And let's read at the bottom of the page. Give us a place to rest, O God. Shelter us in the long, soft evening shadows of your truth. You are true protection and safety. In your presence we find love and acceptance. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. Page 154, verses from the book of Exodus, from the book of Shemot, Vishamru. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, לדורותם ברית עולם, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, Oti li'olam, v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, Shabbat vayi nafash v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. All right, we are on page 155 and the following, 155 through 167 for the Amidah, for the Tefillah. We'll begin on page 155. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agita hilatecha. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agita hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor, V'Hanurah, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei HaKol, V'Zocher Chasnei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevi Goel Yonei V'neihem, Leman Shemo B'Yahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach U'Magid, Baruch atah Adonai, Magid Avraham v'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei metim atah Rav l'Hoshia. Morid atah, Mechalkel chaim b'chesed, Mechayei metim b'rachamim rabim. Somech noflim v'rofeh cholim, umatir asurim, umekayeh emunato l'shenei afar, bichamocha al gevurot, umidom melach, Melech memit u'mechayeh u'matzmiach Yeshua v'ne'eman atah l'chayot metim. Baruch atah Adonai mechayeh hametim. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may we all live in such a way that this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat. We continue now with Ritzei.
Ritzei, Ritzei, Ritzei Adonai Elohim, Me'amecha Yisrael, U'tefilatan, Me'havatecha. Utehila ratzon tami, Utehila ratzon tami, Avodat Yisrael Amecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Shabbat
Let's turn to page 163 and read responsively at the top of the page. For the good in us, which calls us to a better life, we give thanks.
For the strength to improve the world with our hearts and our hands, we offer praise.
For the desire in us, which leads us to work for peace, we are grateful.
For life and nature, harmony and beauty, for the hope of tomorrow, all praise to the source of being.
Page 164, we continue with Shalom Rav. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon Lechol ha-shalom. Ki atahu melech adon Lechol ha-shalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tov beinecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה Bishlomecha. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Let's read responsibly in the middle of the page. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes.
Strengthen bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of our world. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart.
Praised are you, Adonai, who blesses your people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamivorech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. Page 167, Yehiyu l'ratzon.
Adonai Suri, Adonai Suri, Ve'oli, Ve'oli.
All right, we're going to go ahead to page 253, the Mishaberach, the prayer for healing. If you have someone who needs some special healing, physical healing, emotional healing, spiritual healing, keep them in your thoughts and near your heart. In the middle of the page. Mishaberach avotenu mikor habracha Leimotenu, may the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mikor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Let's turn to page 258 and 259 as we recite together the blessings for our community, for our country, and for the state of Israel. Source of all being, may the children of this community learn these passions from us: love of Torah, devotion in prayer, and support of the needy. May we guide with integrity, and may our leadership be in your service. May those who teach and nourish us be blessed with satisfaction, and may we appreciate their time and their devotion. Bless us with the fruits of wisdom and understanding, and may our efforts bring fulfillment and joy. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha b'yirah na'avod. Thus says Adonai, this is what I desire, to unlock the fetters of wickedness and untie the cords of lawlessness, to let the oppressed go free, to break off every yoke. Share your bread with the hungry, and take the wretched poor into your home. When you see the naked, give clothing, and do not ignore your own kin. If you banish the yoke from your midst, the menacing hand, the evil speech, if you offer compassion to the hungry and satisfy the famished creature, then your light shall shine in darkness. In the prayer for Israel, the middle of page 259, Avinu Shavashamayim, Tzur Yisrael v'go'alo, Barech et Medinat Yisrael, Reishit Smichat Gulatenu. Again Aleha Bi'evrat Chastecha, Ufros Aleha Sukat Shlomecha, Ushlach Orcha V'amitecha L'Rasheha Soreha V'yoetzeha, V'tachneim Be'etza Tova Milfanecha, V'natata Shalom Ba'aretz, V'simchat Olam Liyoshveha, V'nomar Amen. O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen. All right, friends. Shabbat Shalom and good Shabbos. This is Parashat Baha'alotecha. Well, that's a mouthful to say. Baha'alotecha. And there's a lot going on, not a lot of action per se. That's going to start to happen next week. But this week, we get a number of interesting things. We get a repeat of the command to install a 7-branched candelabra. We know it best as the menorah. And this is a repeat, as I said. We first find this in Exodus chapter 25 and Exodus chapter 27. This idea of setting up a 7-branched candelabra called the menorah. It's different from the Chanukiah, right? The Chanukiah has 9 branches if you include the Shamish. So in general, all Chanukiot are menorot, but not all menorot are Chanukiot, right? All menorahs are, all Hanukkah menorahs are classified as menorahs or menorot, but not all menorot would classify as a Chanukiah, right? So, and the 7-branched menorah was, I think, over the gates or leading into the Jerusalem. There was a carving as well. We don't know what happened to them. Presumably, they were probably stolen in one of Israel's ancient wars and melted down. The Levites. Last couple of weeks, we were counting them up, how many we had. And now they're consecrated to help the priests with sacrifices. So they get their job. The Levites are the assistants to the priests. And they actually take the place of the firstborn of Israel, who would normally be designated for this task. The firstborn hold special standing in Judaism, and they're consecrated to God. But the Levites take over this task. And they have a 25-year career. From ages 25 to 50, they would exercise their duties. We get a strange holiday, a holiday that we don't really observe much anymore. Some people do, but the way we observe it nowadays is not the way they did in the ancient world. We have a festival called Pesach Sheni, or the second Passover. This came about when a group of people approached Moses and said, due to no fault of our own, we were either traveling and too far away to offer the Pesach sacrifice, or we had become ritually impure by touching a corpse. And so we weren't able to partake in the Pesach. So what can we do? So Moses goes to God, and God says, okay, they can bring the sacrifice a month later, and they will eat it with matzah and maror, and that'll be that. They'll have gotten credit for observing Passover, even though they were unable to. Now, this doesn't work for people like us, right? We just decide that we don't want to go through all the hubbub of Passover, so we decide, we'll catch up on Pesach Sheni. It's not for that. It's if you were on a long trip and couldn't get back, or if you had become ritually impure. Like I said, nowadays we pretty much ignore it. Pesach Sheni was several weeks ago, and the way that we observe it nowadays is on Pesach Sheni, you break out some of the matzah that you would put away and eat a piece of matzah. We also get a very interesting command or a statement that resident aliens, gerim, can observe all of the laws and rituals of Passover without discrimination. So a resident alien was someone who comes into the community and says, I'll abide by your laws, but I'm not going to become one of you. And they're allowed to observe all the laws and rituals of Pesach, and nobody's allowed to say, but you're a ger, you're a resident alien, you shouldn't be doing this. We find out that there's a little bit of choreography. For those of you who like theater, there's a little bit of choreography. There's a cloud that rests over the tabernacle by day, and there's a pillar of fire that rests over it at night. And when the cloud lifts during the day, they're allowed, Israel is told that that's when they pack up and they go out on their journeys. So when the cloud is resting by day, there's no movement. As soon as the cloud lifts, they're able to head out on their journeys. And there's a command for 2 silver trumpets to be manufactured. I lost the word. Produced? No.
Yeah.
Produced?
That would work.
Or made? Made? I'm trying to get fancy. They're commanded to make 2 silver trumpets. And they're sounded 4 times, 4 different times, signaling the beginning of a journey so that everybody knows it's time to go, to gather the people for a major announcement, a call to battle, and to announce a sacrifice, a festival, or a joyous occasion. So it's they function kind of like the shofarot would to grab our attention. There's a piece in this week's portion that if you get the aliyah for it, if you get called up, you might see it, that there are 2 inverted nuns inside the scroll itself. And it marks that the 20th day of the 2nd month of the 2nd year, Israel starts their journeys throughout the wilderness. And these verses actually made it into our liturgy. It's Vayehi bin Soah Haaron, right? That the ark would be lifted up and it would be taken, it would be carried out. And we say this during the Torah service. We sing it, Vayehi bin Soah Haaron, Vayomer Moshe. And we have 2 more things to wrap up this week's parsha. The people complain about a lack of meat. The people have been getting manna. God has been supplying them with manna. But people complain about the lack of meat. And God says, they want meat. I will send them meat. They won't have it for a day. They won't have it for a week. They won't have it for a month. They will have it until they vomit it through their nostrils. So God sends quail. And it's exactly what happens. The people eat it and eat it and eat it until they get sick. And Moshe has a bit of a crisis as well. And he goes to God and says, what have I done to get saddled with this people? They don't want to listen. They don't want to behave. And God says that it's okay to appoint officers and elders to help lead. And then finally, at the end of the parsha, Miriam and Aharon, Moses' older siblings, speak behind his back. They complain about Moshe's wife, who is a Cushite, and they're complaining because she's too dark-skinned, that he should have married somebody with a lighter skin. And God is listening and calls them out on this and says it's really not nice to talk about people behind their back. And Miriam gets struck down with leprosy, and Aaron has to be the one that sends her outside the camp for 7 days. And God says to Miriam and Aharon, yes, I might speak to other prophets, because Miriam and Aharon also complained that why does Moses always get all the press? Why is he the one that's always leading? Doesn't God speak to us all? And God says, I speak to prophets and other people via visions and dreams, but I speak to Moshe face to face. And so a bunch of things that happened this week in the Torah, a lot of interesting little tidbits. But this week, with all still the civil unrest that's going on and all of the problems that have been bubbling and bursting forth, I started really to think about, how wonderful a document the Torah is. Because in some ways, the Torah anticipates a lot of things. The authors of the Torah anticipate a lot of things. And one of the first things we find out during creation, when God creates humanity, when God creates us, the first thing we find out about this creation isn't that we're tall, isn't that we walk on 2 legs, isn't that we have brown or blue eyes. We know nothing about the physical nature of the first beings that were created. But what we do know is that they're created B'Tselem Elohim. God says, let us create humanity in our image. In our image, let us create them. And God created them B'Tselem Elohim, God created them, male and female, God created them. And you can find this in Bereshit in the first chapter on the 26th verse, that we are created B'Tselem Elohim. It's a simple yet profound statement. And I think the Torah puts it in there to guide us with our interactions with all people. But what does it mean to be created B'Tselem Elohim? A couple of weeks ago, you'd say, but Rabbi, you said in the 10 utterances that we're not allowed to make any images of God. So how do we know what God looks like, that we could be created in God's image? Well, I don't think it's physical. I don't think we're created in God's image physically. God isn't a well-dressed rabbi with a white beard and nice glasses and Jerry Garcia ties. If you were going to imagine a God, I'm sure that's how you would all imagine God. But that's not the case. God has no physical form. That's what separates us from a lot of other religions. Certainly what separated us from the ancient world that had idols. But God does have attributes. God does have what are called midot, characteristics. That there is something about God that we are to emulate. And as the high holidays approach, we're now in the months leading up to the high holidays, we remember that God has 13 attributes. We chant them on Rosh Hashanah, we chant them on Yom Kippur. They're with us beginning with Slichot. That we know that God is Rachum, that God is compassionate, that God is Chanum, that God is gracious, that God is Erech Apayim, God is slow to anger, God is Rav Chesed, the Emet, God is kind and faithful. Nosei Avon Pesha V'chata, that God forgives our shortcomings. These aren't physical characteristics. These are behaviors. These are ways of interacting with people. And this is what it means, I think, to be created B'Tselem Elohim. And I know that it's difficult at times. I know that it's tough at times. Your neighbor who's a nudnik, how can you deal with him? How can you be patient with him when he blasts loud music that you don't like? But it's worth the effort. The rabbis teach us that we're supposed to dan l'chaf zechut. We're to give people the benefit of the doubt. Rather than getting frustrated with them, we're to remember that they are B'Tselem Elohim, that they are made in the image of God, and that we should treat them with kindness and compassion. We should give them the benefit of the doubt. We don't know why certain people behave a certain way. We don't know. Maybe my neighbor doesn't hear so well and he has to play the music loud. We don't know. So if we give them the benefit of the doubt, but always start off by realizing we're all created B'Tselem Elohim. And I think if we see others, no matter who they are, as B'Tselem Elohim, we'll see the humanity and the dignity in all people. It doesn't say that God created the Europeans first. It didn't say God created Africans first. It didn't say God created Asians first. It said God created this Adam. And God created them Zachar and Nekeva. God created them male and female. And God created them B'Tselem Elohim. And even if we disagree with someone, we can still do it in a compassionate way. We can still do it in a kind way, noting that they are B'Tselem Elohim, that they're created in the image of God, and that we should treat them with respect, even if we don't agree with them. And I think this idea of B'Tselem Elohim, of the image of God, is the foundation for true inclusion. If we want to start dismantling racism, if we want to start dismantling sexism and homophobia and xenophobia, all of the things that we're grappling with right now, I think if we start with the basic fundamental aspect that we're all created B'Tselem Elohim, that we're all created in the image of God, then we can start moving forward. Because Tselem Elohim means that we're all created equal. We're all created with the same characteristics. We're created with the same wonderful ways of interacting with people. All of us are. And that's how we emulate God. We want God to be forgiving to us. We want God to be compassionate. We want God to be kind. And so here, B'Tselem Elohim, we're called to do exactly that. We start at home with Sholom Bayit, right? Where we have a wholeness at home, where there's no festering anger once we realize people are B'Tselem Elohim. And that leads to kavod. That leads to respect. Because once we realize that we're all in this together, that no one really is better than another person, that leads to respect and understanding for all, and ultimately leads to the commandment that we read in Leviticus a number of weeks ago, the command to love our neighbor. That's how the Torah can command an emotion, because it starts off by teaching us that we're all created Tselem Elohim, that we're all created in the image of God. And all the other characteristics that we have, all the other positive mitzvot, build upon that until we can reach that pinnacle where we can love each other the way we want to be loved. 2 words, Tselem Elohim, image of God. And that makes all the difference. We can truly make the world a better place if we start by realizing each and every one of us coming from that common ancestor, that first couple that were created, are Tselem Elohim, created in the image of God. And as Rabbi Hillel said a long time ago, the rest is commentary. Now go and do. Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and good Shabbos. All right, we are near the close of our service. Time for Aleinu, page 282. Aleinu shabeach ladon hakol, lateit gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kagoye haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot hadama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל ושכינתו זו בגובהי מרומים Hu Eloheinu Einod, Emet Malkeinu Efes Ulato, Kakatu B'Torato, V'yadata Hayom V'Hashevota, Elevalecha, Ki Adonai Hu Elohim, B'Shamayim B'Mal, V'Haaretz, Mitachat Einod. Let's read together on page 285. Let the time not be distant, O God, when all shall turn to you in love. when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. O may all created in your image become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your realm be established on earth, and the word of your prophet fulfilled. Adonai will reign forever and ever. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lamelech al kol haaretz vayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. Last week, I mentioned that it is Pride Month. June is Pride Month, and that every week on Friday nights and Shabbat mornings, I'll be reading something about Pride, something about gay and lesbian Jews. Today, June 12th, is the 4th anniversary of the shooting at the Pulse nightclub in Orlando, which up until the mass shooting in, I believe it was in Colorado or Nevada.
Las Vegas.
Was in Las Vegas. But up until that one, the Pulse nightclub in shooting was the largest mass murder shooting in our country's history. And so this evening, I'd like to read a prayer written by Rabbi Denise Ager in remembrance of Orlando. This is the anniversary of the Pulse nightclub terror massacre. On June 12th, the madman entered a gay nightclub and murdered and maimed LGBTQ community members and friends. This was an act of terror. This was an act of mayhem. This was an act meant to intimidate and create fear. 49 precious souls died that night, scores of others injured, all of us scarred. Tonight, we remember and recall the lives of those who merely wanted to dance the night away. Bless these precious souls whose lives were broken and cut short all too soon. We ask for their souls to be at peace and for their families, friends, and lovers to be healed of their broken hearts. Let the murder not be in vain. Let it be a lesson to each of us and to our nation that the fight for LGBTQ equality is not over. Let us not be complacent, thinking we have won the day, for there is much work left to do. Bless those who need healing from their wounds, a healing of spirit and a healing of body, and teach us, source of the universe, to be messengers in this world of justice, truth, love, 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 and love. V'nomar, Amen. And let us all say, Amen. This week we observe the following yard sites: Ben Botnick, Jan Cherto's father; Hyman Cohen, Billy Glick's father, David's mother's father; Edward Greenwald, Diane Shuttle's uncle; David Ryder, Rosemarie's husband. His first wife was Ella, father to Susan, Bobby, and Bill; Rose Booth, Marvin Fetter's maternal grandmother; Anna Berinsky, Manny Berinsky's mother; Sarah Guberman, Pauline's aunt, Mary Cantor's sister; Dolly Sampson Kahan, friend of Fred Ziffer; Sidney Comet; Lillian Steva Berger Friedland; Nick and Joshua's mother, wife of Seymour; Herman K. Poland, relative of Ronald Poland; Benjamin Siegel, Frieda Kagan's uncle; Lillian Comet, Sidney Comet's mother; Eric Stephen Hartz, infant son of Maury and Suzanne Hartz; Ella Schenker Ryder, David's first wife; Pesach Weisberg, Art's father; Edna Kalf, Etta Steinberg's mother; Donna Schneid, Tori Witcher's sister, Jack I. Elderman, Elsa May Hyman, Jack's mother, Dr. Charles G. Poland, Yvonne Riefer, cousin of Jack Gottlieb, Isaac Newton Schoenfeld, Jane and Tony's father, husband of Francis, Bernard Julius Samuels, father of Melanie, Harold, Stephen, and Norman. May their souls be bound up in the bond of life. May their memories be a blessing to us always, and may they all rest in peace. Mourner's Kaddish, page 294. Yitkadal, V'yitkadash, Shemei Rabbah, V'yalma Divrach Hirutei, V'yamlik Malchutei, V'chayechon, V'yomechon, Uv'chayei Dechol Beit Yisrael, V'agala V'zman Kariv V'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mvorach Le'olam Lomei Almaya. Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpar V'yitramam V'yitnaseh. V'yithadar V'yitalev V'yithalal Shmei Dekudusha Brichu. Le'lam Min Kol Birchata B'shirata. Tushbachata B'nechemata. Ta'amiram B'yalma V'imru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, u'yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. All right, friends, just a couple of quick announcements. Services tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for Shabbat, and again on Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Yiddish choir on Wednesday. The Zoom link goes out. It's the same Zoom link every week. So if you want to be part of the best Yiddish choir on either side of the Mississippi, Wednesday night is the place to be. Sam, do we have any other announcements?
Yeah, we'll have a congregational meeting on Sunday, June 28th at 5 p.m. via Zoom.
Okay.
They'll watch their inboxes.
Watch your inboxes. Sam says we're going to have a congregational meeting on Sunday, June 28th at 5 p.m. and it's going to be via Zoom. So watch your inboxes for information and the link for that. It's very important that you all attend virtually. All right, and that's about it. So let's close out with Adon Olam on page 321. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Li'et Nasa B'chefza Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra B'acharei Kiglot HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora Vehu Haya Vehu Hoveh Vehu Yeh B'tifara Vehu Echad V'ein Sheni Laham Shilo Lehachbira Beli Reishi Beli Tachli Velo Ha'os Ve'hamisra Vehu Eli V'chai Goali V'tzur Hevli B'eitzara Vehu Nisi Humanosli Benat Kosi Biomekra Biado Afkid Rufi Bi'etishan Bi'ahira Bi'imruchi Giviati Adonai Li Velo Ira. I want to thank Sam for being our tech guru tonight. And I want to wish you all Shabbat Shalom and a good Shabbos. We'll see you soon.